Okay. Yesterday I did a video on being creative with your life and adding to your life rather than depriving yourself. And one of the premises that I brought up to support that idea or that strategy was the fact that there is no negation in anything we observe in the observable world, in the empirical world. Nothing undoes itself or unbecomes. It's always creating, and from that creation, an entire new platform to create an entire new concept of creation, and creation upon creation upon creation. There is one sort of magic eraser, though, if you will, that each one of us are in complete control of. And, it's not necessarily a time machine, but in some ways it is. Especially when we think about time on a vertical sense rather than on a horizontal sense like we normally do, rather on an x-axis versus rather seeing it on a y-axis. That magic eraser that I'm alluding to is the idea of forgiveness. And forgiveness, the art of it, the practice of it, the habit of it, is your biggest solution in your life to anything. It should be your number one practice. It should be the thing that you are sharpening, that you are constantly practicing. It should be your guidance through your life. What's hilarious, and I shouldn't be irreverent and say things like hilarious, but what's ironic is that the notion of forgiveness through Roman Catholic Church and all of the Protestant churches that supposedly stand for something different, all of them, from what I can tell, all of the churches teach forgiveness exactly opposite. Meaning they teach the dynamic of forgiveness, the expectations of forgiveness, and the manifestations of forgiveness completely backwards. They will teach you, and even the Jews will teach you this, pre-Jesus, pre-Christianity, Judeo-Christian and Hindu cults all alike, Islamic as well. If you notice, the one concept that they all share, and there's many, as they all come from the same lineage, but one of the backbone of their doctrine is that you are seeking forgiveness from God, or from some sort of savior, creator, whatever the case may be. This goes back to my video about original sin being a political exploit rather than a biblical fact. The idea is that from the moment you were born, you are seeking forgiveness from your Creator for being born. I mean, really, for the most part, for being born. You, for the rest of your life, will seek forgiveness. That is exactly opposite of what's going on here. One of the notions that I was reminded of this weekend was that if you say you believe in God, and I know that word is just short term for us American people, and as we become more conscientious, the word God is almost the last thing we want to use for that spiritual being that we are seeking, who created us and has all the love for us in the universe. Because we know the etymology behind the word God, but, we know what we're talking about. If you believe in a being that is up in the sky, or any being whatsoever, and you believe that it is separate from you, then you are not believing in the right Creator. You have got to believe that if there is a spiritual essence, if there is a Creator, if there is a God, if Jesus Christ is of any spiritual entity or presence in this planet, then you have to believe that it is operating through you. That God is operating through you. That everything you do is an expression of your Creator, good and bad. Your mistakes are an expression of your Creator. You can't help but express your Creator. If you believe in a Creator separate from you, outside the world, and you don't believe that Creator is working through you, is not residing within you, does not have spirit within you, does not affect this world through and only through you, then you're missing a big portion of this. Once you accept that, then you realize that that forgiveness comes through you. That your ability to forgive situations and people changes this world, brings peace into your consciousness and life, and most of all, allows you to see things for what they really are. This is the ultimate teaching, I believe, of Jesus Christ, and of every avatar like him, Buddha, Krishna. The ultimate teaching there. And to wrap it up in one phrase is kind of hard, because, and I'll tell you why in a second, I think the ultimate teaching is your ability to spread forgiveness, to extend forgiveness, and to forgive everything from yourself, your past, to every circumstance that you're in. That goes hand in hand with what is simultaneously also the most important lesson, which is you will receive what you give. Simple as that. Okay. So, what does that mean? How does forgiveness work through you? What is the opposite of forgiveness? The opposite of forgiveness could be said to be resentment, judgment, punishment, reaction, criticism. Any of these things would work, right? The opposite of forgiveness is ultimately judgment and resentment. We've all heard the saying that to resent someone is like eating poison and waiting for the other person to die. It's ridiculous. When you resent someone, the only person that is suffering is you. When you judge someone, you are never, ever judging anything fairly, especially if you're in a reactive, egotistic position. Because you can't see through the reaction, through the emotional delusion that is taking place in your egotistical emotional mind that has been triggered by wrongdoing, per se. You cannot see truth. You're immediately elevated into the egoic mind and start projecting drama rather than peace. I said in a prior video that our ultimate goal may be to be able to see strangers and stop judging, but look for Christ in them. To see the God in them and the message that's there for you and the blessing that's there for you in each and every person that passes you. Homeless, family, enemy. Same thing goes with situations. Well, what is that dynamic? As we know in quantum physics and philosophy, nothing in this world is anything without the perceiver. And thus, the nature of everything that takes place in this world is because of the perceiver and the perceiver's perceptions and judgments. In other words, there is an objective reality. But as the perceiver, you project a delusion based on your judgments. Your judgments never come from that very moment of eternity. The moment of now is the moment of eternity. It is the only moment that is real. Your judgments will constantly come from the past, from things that you think are real because they have happened in the past or you judged them in the past. They are no longer real today, and they have nothing to do with the situation or person that's in front of you. But by you judging them based on the past, or ideas of your idealism on the future, neither of which are real, and projecting judgment onto that person, you will get a reaction And you will react back and forth, and that'll be an egotistic drama that creates all kinds of havoc in your world. And that's what this world's problem is. It has been glazed over with havoc, drama, and all of that equals delusion. It's not real. It's projected from all of our egoic sense. In every situation and every person you meet, you have the choice. You are the vehicle that God is working through to see this world for what it is and to resolve the difficulties and delusions that we may have within it. It is absolutely necessary that we see it for what it is through forgiveness. I'll give you a couple examples. When you find someone has wronged you and you judge that person, okay, who's really done the wrong? That person has done an action. You may not agree with that action, but it's your choice to perceive it as wrong, or as immoral, or as an attack on you, or as unfair, or to take on victim mentality at that point. Or you could say, if God is working through me, or if my will is working through this universe, or however you want to put it, then every situation has its purpose, and every situation has its blessing and has its lesson. And when I forgive it, I can see that, and a positive manifestation will come out of it, rather than that comes from resistance, resentment, and other negative perceptions. So who's to blame? The perceiver or the doer? I just got out of court. I am defending myself in a DWAI case in a legal state of Colorado, driving under the influence of marijuana. This case is so erroneous, so bogus, and involves a very dirty cop. And it is causing my family, myself, entirely a lot of money, stress. I mean, I have to stay up all night and study statutes and understand concepts of legalities that I never understood before. Last night I pulled an all-nighter again, because when you're a dad of two, you can't just study. The kids are yelling at you. Good luck trying to study statutes, as they call it, legalese. You got to be in that state where you can actually absorb this stuff and understand your strategy and your place in that courtroom. Because if you don't understand your jurisdiction, they will make jurisdiction over you. Okay? So it's a real pain in the ass. I was treated unfairly. I didn't deserve that. And that's how I could view it. And I could have resentment and hate for it and just be bitter to all hell. I just read the discovery, the police report is full of lies. I can't even tell you the amount of lies it's full of. And that makes me want to just find this officer and embarrass the hell out of him in the courtroom. And I may have to do that to win my case, but here's the point. When I forgive the entire situation, suddenly this becomes an adventure for me. And I have never felt more alive in my day. I am standing up in court. I have earned the respect of this judge, standing up in front of him 4 times, knowing what I'm doing. He sees where I'm going with this case, and he loves it. I can see it in his eyes. And I love it. I have never felt so empowered. I looked across the DA, who's 27 years old, and I don't mean to be ageist or anything in that situation, but I could tell she was scared. She was like, what is this guy talking about? As I freely spoke to the judge about setting motion hearings, wanting to know if he wanted those in writing, jury selection, my rights, which ones I am succumbing, which ones I'm not, just by pleading innocent, so on and so forth. He respects me, and I respect myself right now, and I have never felt more alive, and I am learning sovereignty, and who knows? I've defended myself now twice at least. I mean, I defended myself through emotion that was really hard to win, so I consider that 3 times now, and 1 in a court where I was facing jail in each of these cases. And I won by doing the research. That's so empowering. Suddenly, the big bad wolf that is known as the judicial system is just a little bunny that is trying to hide behind the simplest illusions. I told the judge today, and I made sure the DA heard me. I think this case is very simple, and I know the DA was shocked. She didn't have that cockiness like that's what you think. My life is changing dramatically because of this terrible thing that happened to me. I spent 5 days in jail. First time I've been away from my family for more than 24 hours since all my kids have been born. Since I met my wife, really. We don't separate. It's just the way we are. So, these are the challenges in life, but when you perceive them differently, they become blessings, they become lessons, they become empowerment. That is forgiveness. That is the magic